TOMz.
Hey, what's going on, son? What's happening? Your boy C-A-D-D-Y pronounced Gaddy is in the building. And today is no different but fair too. The time has finally come. Then I guess it is like teenagers on a mission. SABC1. Mzonsi for sure.
I'm not my boy. Or grand within.
I'm nice.
Nice. I hope that you at home are also just as nice. When I'm talking about fitting patele, listen to some Nandi when it comes to science and technology.
Yes, but fair to like TOMz touch a young king, alright? We've touched on music before. We've looked at the different aspects of music, but so when it comes to frequency, when it comes to sound and tone and everything else.
And that is the heartbeat of the rhythm. The African beat, the rhythm of Africa and the life of African music.
Yeah, must have. And today is no different, Donna.
Yes.
So today we're going to be finding out more about that. We're going to be casting the nets wide, but so music while I'm boy. No good to inspire you, boy. No good to put about recorder ganjan or about recorder ganjan.
Yes, absolutely, my favorite. So, Lapekaya, are you ready to get your groove on? Well, Asambe.
Go to the heart of music on the African continent. Wonder how our style has evolved and been recorded, and how our music has changed the world. How do these big black vinyls plants produce sound? Get to the chip of our life into the history of African sound. So look about how we're going to keep reaching the world with beats, and pay attention to that so that you don't get caught out in the quiz.
I am via our social media pages, and I'm trying to who is your favorite African artist? On Facebook, what's my favorite African artist is Wizkid. Okay, very nice. Let's my favorite artist is Imafiki Zolo. Yes, my favorite, keep those comments coming in on Facebook and on Twitter. On Facebook, we are TOMz. On Twitter at TOMz_SABC_Udo. Let's go to Batin Monamangametu Asamunsion.
Oh yes, we at it again with our road show Touchdown Maptown Buffet, and I'm trying to say Tiri Varolong High School. We're going to be talking about our kids in the African beats. Hello, Swam.
Hello.
Unjan. What's your name?
My name is Mudiedi Poko.
Okay, Mudiedi Poko, but Rutsibane. What is African music?
African music is all about the way we express ourselves as Africans, our culture, traditions here.
African music, it's all about like expressing ourselves as Africans. Via music and stuff.
What kind of instruments do African musicians use?
Like the drums.
Marimba.
What kind of music do you like?
I'm into hip hop.
You turn hip hop,
Yeah.
Who's your favorite artist?
Nasty C.
Nasty C?
Yebo.
Okay.
Nasty C, Casper West, MT, and Fifi Cooper song.
Hip hop music.
Hip hop music. Who's your favorite artist?
Questa.
You think African music is diverse?
Yeah, according to me it is.
Why?
Because most of the people these days listen to local music other than listen to international.
Guys, guess what music while I'm Zans? I mean, we've listened to Abu Mafiki Zolo, Abu Malaika. Where does the heartbeat of this rhythm come from? Check this out. Traditional African music is extremely diverse. Ngoba, of the many different religions and tribes of the continent, the music lana is seldom written down and mostly passed through each generation orally. It often relies on percussion instruments, including drums, saxophones, and tells stories and legends about the lives of African people. Because of its variety and memorable beats, African music has spread throughout the world and has influenced Abantu Abanengi and many music styles. African music developed in large parts due to different tribes moving around, with different weather conditions, politics, and cultures influencing the music. Much of the North African music was influenced by Middle East and contains melodic modes as well as influenced by desert nomads. Central and Southern American music is functional and involves the audience, especially when it comes to events like childbirth, marriage, and hunting. In the 19th century, African music influenced the formation of jazz and blues as they borrowed African rhythm brought from the Atlantic slaves. Okay, so guys, for sure, why does African music actually consist of day-to-day activities or events?
Well, that's because African languages are tonal. That means a connection between languages and music.
Oh, so we express ourselves through language. Mantoana? Please let us know, how do you express yourself? Hit us up on our social media pages. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back.
TOMz.
Oh yes, Mzansi, welcome back to TOMz, watching SABC1 Mzansi for sure. So Nandi.
I'm so fresh, you're so nice, boy.
I'm so nice.
Guys, if you just joined us, we're picking up the beats of music, especially African music. So music lona ubuyapi and bayenza kanjani lokhu yakudala.
And see, look forward to get to help us do exactly that. We are going to an extraordinary place filled with extraordinary tunes. With that being said, I cannot wait to submit to one.
Hey yo, what's going on? It's your boy C-A-double-D-Y, pronounced Caddy. Yet on another mission running the streets of Johannesburg. Touchdown in Maboneng Bafethu. So mission here tonight, we all about the history of music Bafethu. Music wala Mzansi and Mkabeni Chigelele. We're gonna meet up with the guy who's a music journalist, who's also a DJ, who's also a van collector, who's gonna tell us more about that. It's you and me in this mission. Why are we still here? Let's get him. Good morning.
What's up, bro?
Jan, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
You good?
Yeah, I'm cool, thanks.
Chilling?
Yeah, I'm cool.
What is going on here? I can see there's like a lot of CDs.
They're not CDs, they're records. It's a vinyl. It's an old school kind of format for music. You know, before CDs, guys listened to vinyl, and now it's coming back, so I'm selling it. My name's DJ Okapi, and the name of the store is Afrosynth Records. We're here in downtown Joburg.
Tell us more about yourself. So is this a store? Is this your store?
Yeah.
What do you sell here, and how did it all come about?
I've been DJing for a long time, collecting South African music for a long time as well. About 2 years ago, I started selling records as well, and about 6 months ago, I started a physical store here in Maboneng, so selling all kinds of music on vinyl to people who want to collect vinyl. You know? Yeah. And my speciality is really local South African music from the 80s and the 90s, you know, what we call bubblegum music or early kwaito even, and some traditional stuff. When music was pressed on vinyl, obviously, it was back in the day, you know, before your time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to bring it back and make it available to people in South Africa by selling it here, and also selling to DJs and collectors overseas as well, because there's a big interest and it's growing now. Yeah. Finally for this music, definitely. Okay,
cool. So let's talk about the type of music that you're selling, and how did it all come about that you actually want to take the old school music and sell it now? Especially in vinyls.
Yeah, it's a good point. In a nutshell, you know, this music was never made available on any other format besides vinyl. You know, some of it maybe on CD or on cassette, but most of it is only on vinyl. So if you want to listen to the music, you have to buy the vinyl, basically. It's as simple as that. When I started DJing, I was playing mainly American music, for like soul, funk, R&B, that kind of music. And then I realized in South Africa they were putting out similar kind of music at the same time, basically. You know, so I started getting more and more into the local kind of sound. And yeah, the rest is history. You know, I started collecting as much as I could, and then realizing I could make a living out of it, not just DJing, but selling the records and sharing it with people. Basically, that's my main kind of goal here. You know.
Yeah. Vinyl records are making a big comeback namhlanje. Kodwa, how are they made? This process is a long one that starts in the recording studio where the sound is recorded onto a master. A master again is then taken into the production company where a bass record is made that will serve as a template for all the other ones. The vinyl records are heated after the template is pressed onto one by one, creating the grooves in the right spots. The discs then are cooled off where they are hardened, and then labeling process can begin. And do you think I would know any artist here?
I would hope so, yeah. A couple. Here's one, for example, Don Laka. You know Don Laka. He started Kalawa Jasmine and became one of the biggest kwaito producers, but this was before he got into kwaito. In the early 90s, he did the solo album. Yeah. And Don is still going strong, you know. He's a major activist at the SABC, I know, to put in place the 90% local quotas, for example. So Don is like a leader of the music industry still, and this is one of his early albums, definitely.
Oh wow, I have no idea. Okay, so what else is in the store? Because you mentioned that you have international artists and local artists as well.
Definitely. I mean, what I'm specializing in here is the local stuff, and what I specialize in as a DJ is really the disco and the bubblegum stuff. But on this side, for example, we've got disco. This side, more traditional stuff. All kinds of different things. There's Zulu music, Shangaan music, Afrikaans music. There's some soundtracks here as well from movies. This side, I'm bringing in some African music from other parts of the continent, which is really big all over the world right now. So these are called reissues. Okay. Means it's old African music, basically, that's been recently pressed and released again, you know. So there's music here from, for example, Nigeria, Ghana, all kinds of stuff. This side, also African stuff, more from other parts of the continent. He's from Cameroon, Kenya, for example. So I'm bringing all this stuff in, realizing that it's quite hard for fans of African music in South Africa to actually access that music, especially on vinyl. You know, there's other record stores around, but not always bringing in a lot of African music, more American music sometimes. So I'm really trying to push the African side of things more than the American side of things, you know.
Okay, so I want you to play me one artist, like best artist in the shop right about now.
Well, that would be difficult to choose the best one, but we can choose one or two maybe. Anything that caught your eye here maybe, or not really?
Actually, these guys. These guys actually caught my eye.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites, you know. Ayobayo were big back in the day, about 1990, 1991, and they were considered like a Pansula crew, basically, you know.
Yeah.
Before Kwaito came along, it was guys like this doing electronic instrumental stuff. And it's beautiful music as far as I'm concerned. Instrumental, so not a lot of vocals, but you can hear that a few years down the line after this came out, you know, Kwaito really exploded. It's not Kwaito, but it's what came just before it, basically.
Cool.
Why did you put it on for me?
Okay, cool. Let me try.
Yeah.
So with the vinyl, it plays from the outside going inwards.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, that's how it works. You know, what's cool about turntables as well, good DJ turntables, that you can slow the song down, you can speed it up. I know, like during the Kwaito days, that's how a lot of stuff actually came about, because they'd take house records and just slow it right down as much as possible and have that kind of slow dance groove. And
Yeah.
the hip-hop guys have kind of revolutionized how, well, long back, but they revolutionized the turntable not just as a way to play music, but really as an instrument itself, you know. So you started seeing turntables in bands, for example, and things like that.
So how does grooves on a piece of plastic translate to music? Well, this comes down to what they call analog sound. A record needle fits into the grooves of the vinyl, picking up the vibrations and sending it to the cartridge. A cartridge to convert the mechanical information into electrical signal, which is then sent to an amplifier that boosts the signal, and finally to the speakers, which broadcasts the sound. Okay, so another question that I wanted to ask, bringing back all of this music and as a DJ, how do you think it's gonna actually come back?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it can come back in any different kind of number of ways. DJs might want to collect the music, just play it, just preserve it. You know, your auntie or your parents might want to buy this stuff and listen to it as well. But for producers, I think it's a perfect kind of platform to draw inspiration from, whether it's samples or just doing remixes or covers or edits, whatever you want, you know. But in this way, like a young South African producer, by taking influence from this old stuff, can stay true to his or her roots, you know, and make real, authentic South African music.
Okay, so if I had to buy one vinyl, where am I gonna play it?
Well, you need to get yourself a turntable, you know. What I always suggest to people is just look for second-hand turntables around where you live, maybe in the mall or something. Maybe ask your uncles and aunties, maybe they've got one lying around in the garage or something. Because they're turntables that are very expensive and they're turntables that are much cheaper, and at the end of the day, they all kind of do the same job, you know. If you have a decent mixer and a speaker, if the record is in good condition, the music will sound good, so...
So
boy.
I think I'm a vinyl records and doing plastic, which means they can last for a very, very long time.
It's interesting, no? Cabanga iyohlala for 100 years. Ingamosheki ntwana if uyiphatha great. Otherwise, guys, funa ukuyana ukuthi nina mamela nguphi music and what devices do you use to listen to your music? Hit us up on social media. We'll be back after the break.
TOMz. TOMz.
Welcome back, my friends. You guys still tuning to SABC1 Mzansi for sure. The show SABC teenagers on a mission. I'm sure we're talking about the heart of African music, and we're on our last leg of actually talking about this amazing topic.
Now, me and Katie Buffett have been checking out a pretty amazing place with really amazing tunes from the African continent. I don't know about you at home, but Katie and I feel rather inspired. With that being said, let's continue our journey.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the response from the people and how's the future looking for the store?
The response has been good so far. With the physical store, people often come in here and they're just amazed to see the records, kind of like you have, you know. But older generation who were around in the 80s and the 90s, they remember this music and they want to listen to this music, and it really has a big emotional response with people sometimes. So the response has been good. Vinyl is obviously not a mainstream thing, it's not a mass thing, so it is about just finding the people who are passionate about music and not just trying to, you know, like have these mass marketing campaigns and just trying to appeal to everybody, because vinyl is not for everybody, it's only for, I think, people who are serious about music. The store has been going well. What I want to start doing is actually turn it into a label now as well and start repressing old South African music and new stuff as well, and getting stuff onto vinyl again, so that it's not only old school stuff here, but it's also contemporary music, it's new music.
Okay, cool. So Dave, now I want to know, collecting all of this old school music and selling it again, like why is that so important? What made you be like, okay, cool, this is old school music and I feel like people need to know of this music some more? Why did you decide to open a shop and sell these vinyls?
This music is disappearing, and it's like an important part of our history as South Africans. It came from a really hectic time in South Africa's history. You know, the 1980s wasn't like it is today. You know, it was a different kind of time and place, but the music really played a central role in the struggle against apartheid, for one, and just the daily lives of ordinary South Africans every day. You know, so it is an important part of our history, but for whatever reason, you know, the changes in technology or changes in trends, the political changes in the country, all these things have happened in South Africa that have kind of relegated this music to the past, to history, you know. And most people don't think about the 80s in a very fond way, obviously, because a lot of people died, a lot of people lost family members, there was a lot of stuff going down back then. So one of the few good things to come out of that era, in my opinion, was the music, and unfortunately people don't tend to think about that history in that kind of way. So I'm just trying to bring it back, preserve our heritage in a way, and preserve this particular kind of period in our musical history. You know, there's a huge interest in house music, obviously, at the moment, not just in South Africa, but internationally for South African house music. And in my opinion, this bubblegum stuff is where it all started. You know, it's the beginning of dance music in South Africa. It's the beginning of electronic music in South Africa. So people who are interested in contemporary music and the latest stuff, you know, they would do themselves a favor by knowing where it comes from, knowing the roots of it, you know. And I'm trying to just celebrate some small aspect that is positive about our past, you know, which is otherwise pretty negative, you know.
Yo, I know, Bafethu. Wow, that was inspiring. Otherwise, Bafethu, there's actually people who are actually preserving the history of our music. And in Mzansi, we're known for having a rich culture in music. I've been schooled. Otherwise, this is what we call mission accomplished. Your boy C-A-W-D-Y pronunciating is out of here.
Oh yes, we're very glad that this morning I'm trying to scream about African beats. And as I'm saying, it's high time that we put your knowledge to the test with our TOMz quiz challenge, my favorite. When it comes to the TOMz speed round. Master, let's not waste any time, let's check it out. Sanbonani Bafethu sesifikele futhi kuyileso sikhathi. Now you guys know that you guys are very special to us, and that's why Stop Umthetho namhlanje sibhekise le eMafikeng eBulong Secondary School. It's time to have fun. Sambeni Bafethu. Now Bafethu nabona ukhetho usikhulumela nama grade 11 learners to find out what they know about science and technology. Bafethu, it's really cool to be smart. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Now Bafethu nazi ukuthi TOMz ikhona esakini lakho, and with that being said Bafethu, learning becomes fun and lokhu sikubiza ngani edutainment. Now Bafethu nazi ukuthi TOMz wouldn't be TOMz without the dance off challenge. Asibuthi kahle kahle ubani omajayivane la. Yes, Bafethu, we tested their knowledge with the TOMz quiz challenge where we saw Team B winning the first round.
Okay, Bafethu, sesifikile ke ku round 2 nalana ke sibiza ngi knockout challenge, Bafethu. So ngizonibuza question ne guys. You guys are no longer a team. Ngibuza question, the first person to press the buzzer gets to answer the question. If you get it right, automatically the other person gets knocked out. If you press the buzzer and you get it wrong, then you go sit down and the other person gets to win. Question yethu Bafethu hamba kanje. Blues and jazz was influenced by African music. Is this true or false? Okay, Bito, you pressed the buzzer. What is your answer?
My answer is false.
The answer is it's false. True. Well, friends, we've come to the last round. Well done for making it this fast as well. So, Lena guess CB's a TOMZ speed round master, ne? So, what's going to happen? You want to show you the game in front of you. So, what's going to happen? You need to with these puzzles, ne? Just fight going down. So, Kumbule, this is why Mama rules well, you can never put a bigger piece on top of a small piece. You've got 2 minutes max to do all of this, ne? What happens is, the quicker you do it, so Tata is Katsako, so Sfaga on the TOMZ log. So, if you're faster than everybody else who has played this game, you get to be a guest presenter on TOMz. How crazy is that? Are you excited?
Yes, I am.
And your time starts now.
If you guys want to TOMZ's School and Save Me, all you have to do is simply slide in the DMs and Nomushanga email on tomz@sabceducation.co.za.
Five, 4, 3, 2.
Unfortunately, better luck next time.
What happened? You're telling.
Yeah, this game is a little bit confusing, eh?
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Very tough.
Otherwise, this is where we end the TOMZ quiz. Mara, well done for making it this far, ne? Man, we smile to go about bits about like TOMZ quiz, bafethu. So today we're talking about African music. What does the future hold when it comes to African music? Check this out. The demand of African singers and dancers worldwide is increasing, guys. With the internet as a platform, African music will find more collaborations and exposure. More international music has been influenced by African styles, making it even more popular. International music licensing companies are now licensing music in Africa as well. With the rise of a smartphone in Africa, local music is getting out to the world much easier.
Oh, Mzansi, I'm so grateful to be a part of this beautiful continent, the African continent, where we actually produce great music.
Yes, and it's so amazing to music. Otherwise, this is where we call it a rap. Unfortunately, we are live 24/7 on our social media pages. On Facebook, see TOMZ, and on Twitter, see TOMZ_SABC_1.
Website which is www.sabceducation.co.za/TOMZ. With that being said, Bafethu, it's a wrap. So it's a goodbye and have a fantastic afternoon. Here's what's coming up next time on TOMZ. We spend most of our times indoors, so how can we improve these spaces? Tolagabanzi from someone who knows what they're doing and is creating the most incredible things out of passion. Do you know what color and light can affect your mood? Discover the origins of cushions and see how the ancient people slept. Explore the ways in which tech will revamp our homes. And make sure you take notes for the game quiz. SABC1 Mzansi, for sure.